this is crazy.
Yeah.
These are always nuts to me.
Stuff he builds. Yeah, it's awesome, man.
I like the engraving.
All engraved.
This is literally the dream shop, though. This thing is sick. I love all the graffiti.
This is the one that I've been working on with Austin.
I love, this is like my favorite style, where it's patina outside, super sick inside.
Yeah. All AC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Air conditioning, AccuAir. We just put an AccuAir system in it. So it'll all be like
that's
ride
wild.
The whole back end's been notched, and the AccuAir just went in.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been buttoning this up. We did this 417 Motorsports cooler plate. Basically, it's like a air-to-water intercooler in the intake manifold.
Okay.
So
that makes sense, because I was wondering, I was like, okay, no intercooler, maybe meth injection, but that's sick.
Then Vibrant, of course, hooked us up with all these clamps and all the
those Vibrant clamps are nuts.
Yeah, they're awesome. You just, and you're good.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're all spring-loaded. They're awesome. Like, I can't say enough about those things. Why I like the comp turbo so much? Because you can do stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
They're oilless.
They're oilless?
Yeah.
How?
Okay, so
it's like a cartridge bearing or something?
Right, so what Comp Turbo has done, they have this proprietary system where you literally just, it's got a little Schrader valve on the backside of it.
Yeah.
And you fill it with this helicopter grease, this high temperature helicopter grease.
That's crazy.
So every time you change the oil in the motor, they have a service also for the turbos, and you just fill it up with the grease.
You just redo the grease, basically.
So the only thing you have to run to the turbo is water lines.
That's wild.
So when you run your water lines, it keeps the temps down so the turbos don't boil over.
But yes,
you can
put
mount
them in any place because the water's pumped through. You don't have to worry about the drain.
Exactly.
That is insane.
So on the Lincoln, originally from the factory, they put a giant airbox back there.
Oh,
so the engine, the airbox was never under the dash.
Right.
It was under the hood. So we had this huge opening here, and the engine was way far forward. And Austin was like, well, let's put the turbos back there. So that's where they are.
That's insane, man.
So everything's nice and tidy back there, and then everything's nice and clean. Full air ride, like it'll be all murdered out, black interior and everything like that. So this has a full, like 2,000 horsepower Nelson racing engine.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's like, I think it's 2,500. It's got their full billet intake.
He surprised me with this. He didn't tell me about any of this stuff. It's just like, oh, I'll just let him get here and be in awe of all this cool stuff. Wow.
So this is their turnkey, like full dome. Like this is full billet.
It looks like 3D printed. Like,
yeah.
That's crazy.
Aluminum. If you see, there's no injectors. It's all inboard.
What?
It's all inside.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's all hidden inside. So this goes like this. Snouts down like that.
Oh, okay, and then you'd go just straight up into it.
Exactly.
Oh,
this was where the two-door stopped.
Right.
They added this, and then this is the whole door to make
so the two-door would have been smaller doors?
Yeah, it was like this, and this was all panel.
Wow.
It was all solid. So
I just would have thought the two-door would have bigger doors than the four-door, not the other way around.
You would think so. Back in the 50s, though, they didn't give you much to work with.
No.
Full Roadster Shop chassis, all Roadster Shop stuff. They build some of the best chassis in the world. That's their IRS system. I mean, just the IRS system alone, it's like, I just look at it and it's just amazing. You ever follow a guy named 3D Magic Mike?
Yes.
This is all him, man.
This is him?
Yeah, he's their designer. He's their engineer.
I always wondered what he did.
Yeah, he does all this. Like
That's crazy.
He's the one who came up with all this stuff. Yeah, this would be one wild freaking Suburban.
Yeah, could not have come to a better place. So, what we are here for is an exhaust on the Miata. I originally had intended on trying to do it myself, but my fabrication skills are like a 1, and this is like a 9. What would you rate this job based on looking at it? Like, skill level needed wise?
I'd say it's probably like a 5 or 6.
5 or a 6, which I'm like a 0.5. So Tim here did the exhaust on Steve's car, and when I saw Steve's exhaust, I was like, all right, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna get somebody else to do it because it's not worth doing it on my own, because it was like a work of art on his car, and his car was even easier than my car. So got his work cut out for him, but based on everything else we've seen, I don't think it's gonna be much of a struggle for him. So he's just explaining to me my collector.
Right, so basically what we have is a 2.5 to 3 inch with, this is all Vibrant, but when I do the merge, I like to make the merge as long as possible so that the transition allows the car to have more of like a screaming sound. Like especially when you're bouncing off the rev limiter, it's gonna sound more like an F1 rather than like a shorter collector, which will give it kind of like a grunt, like a UPS truck almost.
Right.
So
right.
like if
which
you
we
heard,
don't want.
Right. So if you heard like some LS cars, they sound more high pitched, more like racy. It's because the merge collectors that they use are usually a little bit longer.
Okay.
As opposed to like a form merge or something, and you just stuff the exhaust pulses together.
Right.
That's gonna create like that really drony, nasty UPS truck sound. So that's kind of the science behind this. And since we have a lot of room underneath the drive shaft, we should be able to get away with using this whole length.
Sweet.
Hopefully it'll sound cool.
Yeah, that's what's most important, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, I think we'll be fine. I'll just have to cut these legs back a little bit, but...
I am very, very excited for this for many reasons. One, to have a nice exhaust. Two, this makes the car drivable. Okay, he's giving me exhaust building lessons.
So basically what I was saying before, we started with a 90, and this 90 only gives us basically limited mobility. So when we cut it straight in the center, it gives us, now we have this plane we can move it on, we can put it wherever we want. But inside of the Miata on the driver's side, we want it to come this way, but we ultimately want to come down this way. So we're going to split now this cut that we made to allow to be able to rotate these two pieces in a plane, and then we would actually put timing marks when we're ready to tack it. So now I know I got to go this way. I'm going to cut one right there, and I'm going to rotate it and come this way, and then I'll be able to go down and make it down the tunnel. But if you overthink it and make too many cuts, then you're not going to be symmetrical, and you don't want to cheat any bends, otherwise it's going to cut down on flow and cut down on power.
Right, right. So overall, you still have a 90-degree bend through that whole piece.
Right. It's like we've taken one Lego block that's this long and then evenly segmented it up.
Right.
It's the same length. It's the same bend, essentially.
Right.
We're just going down that plane and allowing it to snake and rotate around.
Smart. Makes sense. Okay, so here's where we're at. Tim's got the two, basically like collectors. I mean, what would you, down pipes?
I don't know, up pipes?
Up pipes, yeah.
Up pipes.
Up pipes.
Let's make it up as we go.
Which is definitely the most complicated part, you know, trying to snake around like the subframe and getting it tight to the trans, because it needs to be tight to the trans to clear the fuel lines, which we do have plenty of room for our fuel lines now, which is sick. What else? So basically these are going to come through this merge. We're going to go through here. I cut the tabs for this brace off because there's not really any way to run the exhaust through it without, I mean, you'd have to be like inside the CD boot. So we'll run through here. It'll come over and then out here. We're going to do a cool like pie cut tip. The only problem is I'm still considering getting aftermarket bumpers. So that puts the outlet further back. So I got to kind of figure that out. I hit up Ben and he said it should be like 4 to 5 inches, but it's hard to say. I don't know. Getting things done. This shop is goals. Air conditioned, cool graffiti, all the fab tools you could ever need. Sick. Tim, what are we doing?
We're welding.
Well, when we say we, I mean you.
Yeah, I'm welding.
You're welding.
You can help if you want.
No.
Just work the pedal. Austin can rub my back.
This is Austin, the owner of the shop.
I'm just the janitor, baby.
He's the janitor. I'm sorry, janitor.
Just the janitor,
I'm sorry.
baby.
The owner left already.
Yeah, yeah.
He's gone.
He's no lucky.
Yeah, he never comes.
No.
No.
Just some guy.
Look how pretty all this is. Weld her up, brother.
Yeah, man.
Tim is welding everything up. This is the driver's side, passenger side. So he's making this side disconnectable because otherwise you wouldn't be able to snake this whole thing up in there.
we can snake the one side with the Y up in there and get it to rotate like we need, and we could snake that side up by itself, but if they were one unit, you couldn't really rotate them like we would need to. So he got that one all welded up, he's welding this one up, and then after that it's just a 3-inch back to the exit, which really isn't going to be too bad. Tim's been jamming out, but yeah, this is like trimming this off or whatever and going out here. But it works out that he came down and back because it tucks it right up against the trans where it needs to be. Keeps it pretty far away from the fuel lines, which is really good. But man, Tim's killing it.
This is not at all a diss on all fabricators or anything. Like, I dream of one day being even a half a fabricator. But in my experience, all the fabricating friends that I have, they always take forever to do stuff. Like, they'll get a little bit done and take a break. They'll get a little bit done and take a break. And Tim has literally just been working on this non-stop since I got here, which is dope.
Steve's here. He just appears everywhere. He got me a Corvette intake. Oh, I can't even see it. But it's a C6 intake, which I'll show you guys when we get to that point.
That's the one I'm running on my car, except that's like the LS3 one, not the LS7.
Right.
So it has a box on the side, but you can cut that off.
So he found it from an old lady on Facebook, and it was super cheap. It was like 25 bucks. I was looking on eBay, and it was like 300 bucks. So that worked out, and it was local, so he picked that up, and he also picked up one from his friend that his friend wasn't using. It's a different style airbox, like the filter part, but anyway, I'll show you guys that later. He also brought some wheels that I'm buying from his boss, but I'm not going to show you guys yet. I was going to, but I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. But they're real Japan wheels. They're not my favorite wheels of all time, but I like them, and I figure if I can't find any other good spec like JDM wheels at an affordable price, I'll run them all around, and worst case, I'll have them as rears. Because I want the Miata to be legit. Like, it's the only legit car I've ever had. I don't want to run fake Rotas. I don't know. It's weird because I've never been that type of person. I'm like, wheels are wheels, but I don't know. Whatever, don't judge me.
This is amazing. Look at this, guys. Hashtag Wildborn. Actual Wildborn. So nice. This is why I came to you. This is
Too
why.
bad it's under the car, it's on the ground.
What?
Too bad it's on the car and under the...
I know, like nobody gets to see
Nobody
it.
even really... They'll see the tip, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we got to do the pie cut tip.
We'll do the tip, yeah.
Just the tip, though. Just the tip.
Just the tip.
Chick-fil-A for the second time today. Tim has been slaving away while we went to go get exhaust gaskets, which were a pain to find. Aren't even ideal material. There's metal in the center. This won't get super hot, so it should be okay. It's for a catalytic converter for a SR20DE, brothers.
That means it's gonna break now, right?
No, don't say that. We got a Vibrant V-band here and here. And he's building it to go around the diff now. Piece and weld it out, and then we got to do the pie cut tip, and we done, brothers. Like all this is done. That tough job.
Yeah, it goes like that. There it is.
Wow, pie cut tip, guys. Hot boy.
Is that hot boy?
The only thing I'm worried about is with the other bumper, it being like, you can't see it. It doesn't jut out enough.
There?
Yeah. Here's where we're at. Hanger. Nice and tight against the diff while still giving clearance to the axle. So I'm not burning up the axle. Over, around, then out. Look at that. God, he did such a nice job on this. It's stuck so nicely.
There's just something about watching something like this being built that's so satisfying. Seeing like every piece in it take its final shape with all the pieces. It's an art form. It really is. One day I'll be able to fabricate a quarter this good.
Ah, I've always wanted a pie cut exhaust tip. You made my dreams come true.
Whatever floats your boat, man.
Don't be a hater. right, you got the 2 bungs. So basically it's going to be 1 bung here for bank 1, 1 bung here for bank 2 for the factory ECU, and then wideband will go there. I thought about putting it all the way back here, so I got the single end, but I really don't think it's that important, because if one bank's running leaner than the other, you have a problem, and that'll just show up as overall lean, and then you'll mask it. So unless you have 1 in each, it's not really going to make a difference. So, and the factory ECU will pick that up. So we'll get an air-fuel ratio because they should be the same. Not ideal, but it's an NA car. It's not a big deal. It's so cool. I'm such a loser, but I think it's so cool. It's so cool to see an exhaust come to life from some bends and some flanges. It's not going to sound very good when we start it up because it's going to be exhaust leaking from 302 bungs because I didn't bring them with me. But that hot boy tip. Again, if I do a body kit, it's going to be a little further out, which is why we made it stick out as far as it does. Because from this side, it would look goofy like this, but it's only like this far because of the body kit. Okay, we're basically done. It sucks because I can't do any cool hard driving or burnouts right now because I have no brakes. I forgot to bleed my brakes before this. Yeah, no burnouts. Sounds insane. We're running off the jump box right now because my alternator power wire is disconnected. So we're just gonna have to get this on the trailer. I'll show you guys more of the sound tomorrow, but for now we're gonna, well, I'm gonna say bye to Tim.
You like it?
Thank you so much. Dude, did you hear it?
Yeah, it sounds pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
You can tell already, like, when you get on it, it's gonna sound.
Yeah, because it already sounds like high pitch.
That
Not
rasp.
high, yeah, like raspy, like in a good way.
That's that merge. That's that long merge.
Oh my God. Oh, it sounds so good. I can't wait to put O2 sensors in it so we don't have 18 exhaust leaks, and oh man, I can't wait to show you guys what it really sounds like.
Drifter, I want to be there.
Oh yeah, you gotta come. Oh my God, that was sick. Huge shout out to Tim. You guys should go follow him on Instagram for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, he's awesome and did a beautiful job on my exhaust. Reason number 2, he works on these cool cars all the time and posts pictures of them. Reason number 3, he told his wife he was gonna be home at 8. And it is now midnight. So that is the main reason. For those of you in relationships, you know. Tim's a trooper.
She's the best.
Oh wait, I'm not gonna end this video. I'll see you guys at home, but thanks Tim again. Beautiful job on the exhaust. So worth having someone do it as opposed to trying to halfway terribly do it myself.